Welcome to Wolverines All Access, your inside look into the world of Bridgton Academy athletics. We've got a great episode for you today. We're going to take a look back at the first month of the season and find out how the Wolverines did. We're going to introduce you to one of the biggest members of the class of 2012 who also has a really interesting story about how he came to Bridgton Academy. And we're going to find out how our coaches spent their summers. But first, we're going to take a look back at September and find out how the Wolverines did. The 2011 football team opened up their season at home against Springfield College. The Wolverines came ready to play and blew out the visitors by a score of 54-6. The next week, they headed down to Milton, Massachusetts to face Curry College. It was the Seth Sheridan show as the receiver from Ashburnham, Massachusetts, had a career day with 6 receptions for 187 yards and 3 touchdowns. The Wolverines then headed down to Worcester, Massachusetts to take on 1AA opponent Holy Cross. The Wolverines rose to the occasion and took out the Crusaders by a score of 24-14. The Wolverine baseball team came into camp with an unprecedented number of players. Undaunted, they took the field to start the season against Frozen Ropes of Portland, earning a split of the doubleheader in preseason action. After a tough loss to Southern Maine Community College, they opened up their season in the New England Club Baseball Association and proceeded to go 4-1 in early league action. After a tough loss to Frozen Ropes at St. Joseph's College, BA closed out the month with a strong win over Central Maine Community College to kick off Parents' Weekend. The lacrosse team came in this summer with high aspirations to show what they could do out on the field. After a frustrating couple of weeks of cancellations, the team traveled down to Newport, Rhode Island to take on longtime rival Naval Academy Prep School. Unfortunately, the score was not in our favor, but it was a great learning experience, and the boys finished out the month with a strong 13-0 win at Dean College in Franklin, Massachusetts. In the midst of the cancellations, BA hosted the first ever student-faculty game, with the BA team just squeaking out a victory over the BA staff. Another team with high hopes coming into the school year was the Wolverines soccer team. With a roster full of talent, the team took on one of the most demanding schedules in recent history. They opened up at home in the pouring rain against Southern Maine Community College and then came off the field with a 3-1 win. The next couple of weeks were difficult as we hit the road and faced 3 NEPSAC playoff teams from the previous year. A tough loss to Northfield Mount Herman, and then 3 tough losses to ISL opponents Belmont Hill, Thayer, and Nobles left the Wolverines with a 1-4 record. They rebounded at the end of the month with a 2-2 tie against a very tough Bowdoin College JV team. Up next is our athlete profile. We're going to introduce you to a member of the Bridgton Academy football team. At 6'6", 330 pounds, George Banakis is hard to miss. Let's meet him now.
Some background. George Banakis, Toronto, Ontario, Canada. I went to the Toronto French School for high school. It's a small art school, so that's where I went. Well, this is my second year out of high school. I went to a prep school last year in Georgia. My coach was arrested for money laundering. He took $150,000 from the Sheridan, a couple of bus companies, and halfway through the season, he was arrested, and we were all sent home. I like the structure of it. I know where I'm supposed to be at what hours. It's intense. It's just, I like it. What can I say?
And so the competition, how does the competition compare to what you've faced in the past?
It's definitely a step up. The biggest thing is the speed. I didn't think people would be this fast here. The strength is pretty much on par with what I've seen before. But yeah, it's a lot faster game. Especially on the line from Canada, we have like a neutral zone. And there's a bit more time to kind of get set and then engage, but here it's not. It's right there. You could swing it in your favor really easily by taking the classes that you want to take. A lot of kids don't do well in school because they don't like what they're learning. I've never taken a psychology course. More specifically, I wanted to have a psychology course with a sports background so I could actually use it in football, and that's what I'm taking. I'm taking a sports psychology course, and I've never got the opportunity to take that before, so it's interesting. I like it. Probably Rogues, Rebels, and Revolutionaries. It's really I like history, and it's taught by a football coach, so it's I just like how it's done. It's pretty much like the biggest thing is this, it's very structured. I know where I need to be at time A, time B, and time C. It's always a change because I don't have mom and dad here to comfort me. I don't have the friends that I've grown up with. It's just I'm almost out of my element, but ultimately if you can survive here, you can survive anywhere else because you're out of your element. Well, I started off with Greek just because both my parents are Greek and they're immigrants to Canada. So I spoke a lot of Greek in the first couple of years of my existence. When you know the movie The Little Rascals, when that came out, I just kept on watching it with my babysitter because my parents had to work a lot, and I just learned English from there. And then I went to a French camp at the school that I went to. My school's K through 12, so it's like all the way up. So I learned French really easily, and on top, like, that was 3 languages by the age of like 5, and I just kept on building those, and then in my freshman year I took a Spanish course for freshman and sophomore, and that's how I learned Spanish. Agapao to Bridgton Academy.
All right, thanks a lot.
The summertime is an important time of the year for professional development. So we polled our coaches and found out how they spent their summer to help make the Bridgton Academy athletic experience better for our student athletes. Here's what they had to say.
I spent the summer working with college coaches. I went to East Coast Soccer Academy, an elite soccer camp down in Connecticut, working on the recruiting side and a little bit on the placement side. I also coached a club team with Mass Premier Soccer, one of the U18s. Their students going on to play college soccer Division 1, 2, and 3. And just getting ready to come into the fall and bring those things we learned over the summer and implement them with our boys here.
I spent the summer in Sanford, Maine, head coach of Sanford Mainers, which is part of the New England Collegiate Baseball League, coaching various Division 1, 2, and 3 players from all the way from Vanderbilt to Keene State to UMass Lowell, Villanova, Boston College, up and down the East Coast, as well as some West Coast guys. Fairly high level, same ideas as Cape Cod League, and spent my summers with Coach Atwood and finished 3rd in the league.
Most of the time, right now, I'm basically concentrating on camps is the biggest thing, and I did 3 camps. I actually spoke in front of 800 kids at all 3 camps. So, and you know, talking about postgraduate programs, talking about how to better themselves in the classroom, academically, athletically, most likely being a student athlete. So really, that really helped a lot. So I would say 3 camps. Also, I'm speaking in front of the Iroquois national team coming up in about 3 weeks.
Well, first of all, as part of my spring travels, I traveled to 4 of the NESCAC schools and interviewed with their coaching staffs, trying to find out what it was they were looking for with postgraduate candidates, finding out how many PGs are on their rosters annually, and seeing what we can do to place more potential Bridgton Academy students in the NESCACs. Followed those conversations up with the personal visits with 2 other one-on-one sessions with the coaches from both Middlebury and Tufts, asking Coach Ritter the same questions about that I had talked with Colby, Bates, Bowdoin, and also Wesleyan University. I did 3 clinics myself, 3 camps this summer. I was at Boston College, I was at UConn, I did the New England Elite Camp at Bentley College, and saw a lot of prospects there. I also did a 2-day spread camp down at Linfield High School in Massachusetts. I spoke at a clinic at St. Anselm's College, as I had before in years past, and also saw spring practices at UAlbany, at the University of New Hampshire, and at UConn. So it's pretty busy during the summer months this year.
Well, that brings this episode of Wolverines All Access to a close. But before we go, we'd like to congratulate co-athletes of the month for September. Wolverine quarterback Stephen Cronin from Hampton, New Hampshire, and baseball outfielder Paul Iasello from Westborough, Massachusetts. For the month of September, Steve led the Wolverines to a 3-1 record, and in those 4 games was 19 for 28 passing for 276 yards. He threw 6 touchdowns and only 1 interception. In addition to that, he rushed the ball 13 times for 34 yards and 2 touchdowns. On the baseball field, Paul led the Wolverines to a 7-5 record, and in the process hit .325 with 4 doubles, 1 triple, and 1 home run. He knocked in 10 runs and also stole 8 bases. Congratulations to Steve and Paul, and thanks for watching Wolverines All Access. Tune in next time, and we'll have another great episode for you.